Welcome. This is D.L. Hughes from VelocityWriting.com, where you learn to write with speed, passion, purpose, and profitability. Here's a strange thing. Many think they are writers, but oddly, they have no idea about the topic that they wish to write about. They don't have ideas for a book or blog post, and if they come up with one, they don't have enough supporting ideas to flesh it out. Yet great writing ideas are everywhere if you know how to receive them. First, I'm going to reveal why we don't receive them, and then offer 4 ways to grab the ideas already around you. That's coming up right now. I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Also, click on the bell icon so you don't miss my latest videos. Getting new insights here? Well then, please like this video, make a comment, and feel free to share it on social media or your own website. There's more on this topic, including sources, at VelocityWriting.com. The direct link to the post is in the YouTube description. There's that great scene in the 1995 movie Heat. Robert De Niro plays a sophisticated bank robber looking for the big score. There's a communication genius who has learned that a particular bank will have $12.2 million in cash on a particular day. The scene plays out like this.
An estimate. Those are exact figures. I had a printout here of the cash flow of the bank for the past 2 months.
How do you get this information?
It just comes to you. This stuff just flies through the air. They send this information out. I mean, it's just beamed out all over the place. You want to do is know how to grab it. See how to grab it.
That's the teaching moment for us all. That is precisely the case with ideas for your next book or blog post. Information is all around us. Our goal as writers is to grab it. Since this is the case, why do so many writers waste an endless amount of time trying to get ideas? Well, science says that many people are living in an altered state of consciousness. It's called obtundation. Obtundation is the term that is usually reserved for people who have a medical condition or have suffered trauma. But obtund means dulled or less sharp, and that describes a broad spectrum of the population today. Minds are in a rut, overwhelmed with addictions to their phones, politically motivated news channels, a flood of TV shows they binge watch, and sites like Facebook that are programmed to suppress independent thinking. Writers cannot afford to live in a semi-catatonic state like this. We must break free. We have an array to receive data, but the power switch is off. How do you expand your consciousness? Certainly not through drugs or alcohol. That has damaged far more writers than that have ever helped. I think psychotherapist Carl Jung had the answer. He said humans were composed of thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. He said we should all be looking for the center, the inner balance between these aspects. When we center ourselves, we become alive in a new way. We become more aware of our own being and of the people and situations around us. The dullness goes away. It's like we flip that switch and suddenly we receive a flood of data through our senses. If you want to learn more about how to escape your dulled sense of consciousness, then study the topic of mindfulness. That's your escape pod from the hypnotic state imposed by society. Mindfulness is too large of a topic for me to address here, but as you look into it, be aware that there are 2 different teachings about mindfulness. One is rooted in science, and the other is rooted in metaphysics. Discover the path that meets your needs. Turn on your data reception center. Turn off all distractions and suppress your negative self-talk. Then simply use your eye and ear gates to receive the huge number of ideas that already surround you. None of the other ideas I suggest here will work unless you turn on your data reception array. Here's how to do that. First, get ideas from people close to you. Many writers think they need to go to exotic places and have bizarre experiences before they can gather the ideas they crave. Not so. When you are centered and mindful, you'll find a lifetime of ideas in your own home or neighborhood. When you are fully awake, you'll see there are plenty of ideas in your own network of friends, family, and colleagues. My advice is that you make a plan to become centered and mindful and see what you pick up as you develop these mindfulness skills. Your new ability to listen to others in an undistracted way can change your writing in revolutionary ways. Get ideas from other writers. Yes, you can get ideas from educational experiences and travel, but writers compress experiences inside the covers of a book. Reading is your tuition or ticket to ride. Black author Eudora Welty reminds us learning to write may be part of learning to read. Writing comes out of a superior devotion to reading. She was right on target. The secret ingredient of all good writing is a devotion to reading. William Faulkner said, "Read, read, read. Read everything, trash, classics, good and bad." You'll get a flood of ideas when you read. They may be about how to turn a phrase or something specific about a particular topic. Sometimes you get a chain reaction of ideas from reading. You may be reading on an unrelated topic, but your brain makes a connection to your topic for you. I love it when that happens. As Faulkner suggested, you don't need to read the world's greatest writers to get ideas. Sometimes dumpster diving is good enough. Now, for example, sometimes I go to Amazon and find a book on a topic I'm writing about. Now, I don't buy the book. I just scroll down and start reading the reviews. Books with 3 or fewer stars usually have lots of complaints about what the author did poorly. I convert those negatives into positives for a chapter in my own book or a blog post on the same or related topic. There's nothing like a 3-star review to trigger ideas. Getting ideas from images is vastly underrated. I learned the value of that when I was in 5th grade. I've told this story before. When I was in elementary school, teachers took the language arts seriously. We wrote every day. One day in 5th grade, our teacher distributed large, colorful illustrations that he clipped from magazines. The page I received was of a distressed-looking lamb caught in a snowstorm. From the image, I wrote an elaborate backstory about how the lamb got in that predicament and how he was rescued by a young Navajo boy. My story was acclaimed by the teacher as the best in the class, and that little bit of approval was one of the many building blocks that shaped my writing career. The point is, visual images have the power to trigger ideas. You have to be centered and fully conscious to let visual images speak to you, but you can use paintings, illustrations, photographs, TV shows, movies, YouTube videos, or TED Talks. If you are centered and mindful, both static and moving images will speak to you and trigger ideas for your writing project. Another one of those underrated ways to get ideas is to listen. That's right. Stop talking and eliminate distractions like checking phone messages. Quiet yourself and simply listen to what's going on around you. I once got a great idea for a scene in one of my books from a couple arguing while I was awaiting my turn at the Department of Motor Vehicles. They say truth is stranger than fiction, and that's true. I took the truth I overheard and used it as a basis for a conversation between my fictional characters. If you are silent inside and out, you'll pick up ideas, snatches of dialogue, and plot points at Starbucks, the grocery store, in restaurants, the hardware store, or any other place. Now, there is one more way that opening your ears becomes a fantastic way to harvest ideas. That's podcasts. In 2020, there were 1.5 million podcasts on every topic imaginable, and the number grows each year. I listen to two types. One is purely entertainment, and the other is to learn about new trends and techniques in the writing world. I get great writing ideas from both types. Start listening in a centered and mindful way to the best podcasts on the topic of your book or blog, and you will get an avalanche of ideas. Be a human data reception antenna. Ideas are all around you. You have an eye gate and ear gate, and a brain to process the data. The trick is to make sure you are aware of what is happening around you to grab the data. You must escape the trance you are in and become centered and mindful. Have a great writing day.